Hey friends, welcome to the video. I'm going to assume you saw the gameplay preview as well. It's in the background here as well in the description. You probably listened to other videos giving their first impressions, so I'm going to mega summarize mine. The highlights were the hybrid subclass called Prism and the exotic class item that allowed for 2 traits from other exotics. Did someone say power creep? That's like power leap, something like that. All things considered, PvE is otherwise already solved. Sunbracers and Strand Titan, for example, they solo the combat difficulty, whereas most DPS checks are easily met with just Well of Radiance plus some form of Sunder, like Tether. The real difficulty is usually puzzles and unreadable one-hit kills that you have to die to once to know how to avoid next. The rest of the combat is usually just a foregone conclusion and kind of a slog. Remember how much fun the community seemed to have during the crafting, despite it breaking the game by trivializing PvE? Hikey, PvE is already so solved that it really doesn't matter if they add hybrid subclasses. If in the future great difficulty options exist, then we're in a better spot. But if great difficulty options don't exist, we're in the exact same place we are now, but with more options beyond just Welllock and Strand Titan. Overall, this is a W for PvE, since I've pretty much given up hope that the game will ever significantly up the difficulty of combat, out of, I assume, fear of scaring a casual audience away from desiring to reach the endgame? I don't know. But some concerns that come up while watching this gameplay preview is, let's just hit the elephant in the room, PvP, that's the main one. I can think of so many broken interactions off the top of my head that would grind dynamic gameplay to a halt. Think of the power level of Revoker with Titans, with the auto-tracking Stormnade meta. That is one of the most non-interactable metas we have ever had. And there are so many combinations that have similar gameplay loops with like unlimited ability engines for your entire team. It just doesn't sound fun to play. Too powerful. And this is partly due to bloat. Think of how many interactions the devs have to test and accommodate for. It'll be a very long time before all these unfair combinations get tuned appropriately for PvP. And this isn't a jab at the sandbox team, it's just the sheer numbers. Some things inevitably will be overlooked or unexpectedly bugged. The next concern is class identity is gone, but not entirely. I hate the class identity in this game, I really do. But it seems like even despite getting all these systems, I still will not have a neutral way to activate invisibility on Titan or Warlock. They always require a kill. Yes, this is my problem with the radar in PvP, and honestly, I probably even shouldn't be talking about competitive aspects of PvP anymore, because it seems like that's so obviously thrown out the window. But I did want to mention that because I think it's funny. All these combinations, and I don't think any of them lead to a Titan having invis from neutral. Next up, the class item that gives you the 2 exotic traits is random rolled. And so this brings up the concern of vault space. I'll have to stock up on so many class items that we might as well not have gotten the extra 100 spaces. Another one that comes to mind is new player experience, but that one's not as bad as you think. If y'all are used to playing Destiny 2, I'm sure if you've gotten a friend or family member into the game, you'll realize just how quickly this game is complicated. It's super complicated right now. And just because they add these Prism subclasses, that's not going to change anything. It's already so over their head that the only thing that'll change that is a good tutorial and starter pack system. Finally, I want to mention the hype cycle. Be honest here. How many times were you excited to see promotional material for a new expansion only to be ultimately disappointed with the day-to-day experience of your favorite activities once the honeymoon period wears off? So ultimately, regardless if PvP is more chalk than ever, I promise that I'll play it anyway with the intention of mastering the most aesthetic combos in the new system, and if somehow it's balanced competitively, I'll stay on that grind too. And with that said, I believe that covers my thoughts on first impressions of the gameplay reveal. Maybe in the future I'll have a more detailed conversation, but those are the first concerns to come to mind. I'll try my best to keep the streams and the daily content rolling, but I've been hitting the gym grind pretty hard at the start of this expansion, and I don't really want to play the game if I'm just going to get error coded out. I'll of course stop by, grab a pulse rifle, hit a gameplay with it, whatever, but this week, let's say Grasp of Avarice is available, And I definitely have some builds that I want to put together, that I've been wanting to put together for a very long time, but it's going to take some time to grind set armor to do so. Anyway, friends, see you in the streams. See you in the next video. Thanks.